Okay, take two.
Whoa. Wow.
I mean, they're not going to
We
hear
just
take
got
one, but
True.
we just got signal back. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that was scary, guys. That was the whole room shook.
Scary.
That was
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah, we.
Oof.
Yeah. So if you haven't read the title, we're talking about his and her circumstance. Very close to circumcision. The word circumstance has nothing to do with the show. I just thought I'd point that out. His and Her Circumcision is a show about.
I hope that it's not his and her circumcision. Oh my god.
Ow.
That's
like a human centipede.
Yeah. Isn't Her Circumstance is an anime. It's the first anime of the year that we're doing. Did we do one last year?
I don't even think we did an anime last year.
No, I don't think like in a full episode. We definitely had it in our list of 10s, but not like a full.
Yeah, and I'm sure we talked about one or two. I'm sure we talked about a few in Storyteller Cast, but this might be new ground.
But we always hand wave we might do Evangelion 4.0 one day, maybe.
Oh
man, we really ought to do that, maybe for Christmas or something. I don't know,
maybe we'll see. Yeah, we'll have to work out the schedule. Shit, I keep forgetting to make that calendar thing. Fuck. All right, I'll make it like tomorrow. Anyway, His and Her Circumstance is a 26 episode.
It's actually relevant.
Anime directed by Hideki Anno. And according to Nick, when he first told me, was written by him. That's not true. It was actually written. It's actually an adaptation of the manga. I just wanted to point that out.
Direct translation, right? It's like called Erkano is originally something like that.
Yeah, like Kabakadu. Hang on, no, it's a wrong.
Say that again, Chris.
Kabakadu.
Kabakadu.
Kabakadu. Debauchery.
Hiroshi Kondo no
Gary Kondo. I knew it wasn't like. Ian, there's a character in this show.
Yeah.
the really short girl who looks like a child, according to everyone.
Yes.
Who gets a quote unquote punk rock brother.
Yes,
we never see
her stepbrother.
Yeah, we never see that dude again. In fact, after that episode, I think she only talks like 3 times.
Yes, I noticed that too.
It's really weird. They even comments on it, but anyway, I got her name wrong like twice. I couldn't remember her name, so I told Nick. I think her name's like Tsubasa Hime, which is not that far off.
What was it?
It's actually like Tsubasa. It's like Shibari Hime. It's like Shibari Hime. But I kept saying Tsubasa Hime, which I think means just like girl. And and then they said like Shibari Hime, and I thought, wait, Shabat Hime? And it's Shibari Hime.
Circumcision, Shabbat. Chris, what are you saying?
What I'm getting out of this episode is memory's hard, and it goes away with age.
So today's theme is actually the dwindling resource.
Dwindling candlelight that is Chris's mind.
Okay, well, I think this will be one of our best episodes thus. Well, hold on. Let's start with. We always start with what we knew going into it. Can we talk about maybe Nick, who selected this?
Let's start. Let's start with Nick.
Let's please.
Yeah.
Sir.
So going.
Oh wait,
into this,
rising action. There we go.
There you go.
Nick,
yes.
See, you know what? Like, I'll forgive all the interruptions because this is like one of my favorite shows of all time. I knew I couldn't say that to Chris.
Yeah,
because I knew because Chris is like a cat. He's like you can't overhype it or feel nothing. You can't like undersell it.
I feel because then I feel like as soon as someone tells me now like watch this thing, it's one of my favorite things of all time. I'm going to disappoint them.
Yeah, you're not going to feel as intensely. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of gone away as we've all gotten older. I will say in college, oh my fucking god, people need to chill the fuck out. If when with the whole like I tie my identity to a piece of media.
Well, I said before on maybe I've said it on the show. That's a young person thing, man. That's like
I don't know.
I haven't had life experiences, so Monty Python is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Like that's just young people.
It definitely goes away when you get older. However,
and if it doesn't, you have a problem.
Yeah, if it doesn't, you have a problem. I would also argue we're not like I don't go to anime conventions anymore. I haven't in a while. So I haven't experienced that, right? The anime fandom in a minute because it was pretty bad, like when I was in it.
When you say pretty bad,
it's still. I assume it is. I'm sure it's better. Someone's out there like screaming, "Yeah, I'm sure it's better." I'm cool. I'm cool with where I'm at. But yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying, Nick. Yeah. Also, I hate being told to watch something twice. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Again, like this is, I think it's more than fair. Like going into it, there's like I even told Chris like there's a particular reason I picked this one. In between this year, because I feel like.
Can I guess? Sorry to interrupt one more time, but can I guess just to see if it worked?
Go for it.
Okay. I think you picked this one, and I want to see if Ian has the same feeling.
Sure.
I think you picked this one not just because it's a Dekiano, but because it's a lot of guy necks. In here, I like could tell works by like Imaishi and some of the older heads in here.
Go
ahead.
It is an unremittently guy nexy. Like I did not realize it was Ano until a lot later into watching it, but I
don't know. I think Ano is using his bags of tricks from Ava, like throughout the entire thing. But
I was like, like well, we'll get into it, folks. But I definitely was like, sniffing out like, oh, there's tropes here. There's visual shorthand here that's coming back. That's all.
Yeah. When I say tips and tricks, I definitely do not mean it as an insult. What I'm saying
is
he has tendencies. Like
he definitely.
This is his style of like conveying emotion on screen, specific emotion, especially like loneliness or depression or whatever, or sad boy having a sad day. So like, it's all prevalent throughout, and it's like it ebbs and flows too, and like budget. It feels like the show is very low budget all throughout.
We get 4 recap episodes in the show.
Yeah. Oh my god, and a lot of the episodes just start with recaps. Also, but I mean, like, it is going back to a time, right? For anyone out before streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is television. You had to be there. You had to. If you weren't watching, you weren't watching.
If you're not there, June 1999, I think. Yeah, that's it. You're SOL.
You missed your TV show. You fucking missed it. That episode's gone.
Good Better job, hope they idiot. Rerun Wednesday. Yeah.
It was 98 to 99.
Oh wow.
Also, voice acting wise, it is a lot of people from the Ava English dub. We watched English dub because it was on YouTube for free. Yeah, and it's a lot of people from Eva. It's also a lot of people from Pokemon.
Yeah, Ash Ketchum's defo.
Ash is the main character.
Oh my god, no way.
I'm pretty sure that's her, yeah. Because there's moments where Ariyama screams, and I'm like, if it's just a little raspier, that's Ash.
The character who plays the writer, the playwright at the end, that's Ash's voice. That's Ash Ketchum's. So I believe it. They probably were doing double.
Misty's all over. Veronica Taylor.
Is
Miyazawa. Right, Miyazawa's the wait. No. Veronica Taylor is the younger sister, I believe.
Oh, the one who gets a love interest near the end?
No, she doesn't. Remember, it was her sister pulling a goof.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a who's who of like that era of anime dubs.
Yeah.
And definitely. A lot of people doing voices of multiple characters, including crowd voices.
Yes.
Because back in the day, there wasn't a lot of people doing dubs for anime.
Nope.
And so you heard a lot of the same voices over and over again. And that's not a bad thing, but it's like, yeah, you can point out. There are Misty's in here, Masato's in here, Ash is in here.
Yep.
Fucking who, just everyone. It's crazy. All right.
And I want to compliment really quick. Just one more note about the voice actor. The guy who's doing the voice of our male lead, the student butter prison. I kind of like this classic '90s thing of, teenage girls are voiced by women, but teenage boys are just adult
grown
men.
ass men.
Like,
yeah,
that's just a dude's voice. Like, he's not doing a voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or old man is 20-year-old, 30-year-old man doing a I'm so old kind of voice.
Exactly right.
But again, it goes back to there's only so many people like doing these. But yeah, Nick, that's my guess why you wanted us. It just really is like a historical, like kind of point in the map. There's a lot of that. Oh, and me and you also talked. You also told me like people, like there's people from Clamps who worked on this before Clamps became Clamps.
Oh, Clamps. Oh, the dudes in this gave me Clamp vibes.
There was one episode Nick joined me on, and like they look like there's shots where you're like, that's an alien.
The
that's
limbs
not a
and the
person.
face.
Yeah. Which would become Clamps' style, and I wasn't like big on it. But yeah.
Yeah, eerie, angelic, like dudes. Yes.
But that was my guess, Nick, for why after watching it.
Okay, that's cool.
What was it?
Were we right? Were we?
Oh well, I didn't know what was it. It was like you.
No, that it's this historical timepiece of like it's all these animators around this time. It's Gainax. We know these people. We get to see Hideki Anno after, and we get to see some of what people are doing before, like the bigger stuff we like, such as Fooly Cooly or Pokemon at the time too.
Wait, so this project comes immediately after Eva, but immediately before FLCL?
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay. Well then, it's basically sandwiched between two of the best things ever made, and there's lots of good character stuff in here, I thought. But go ahead.
Yeah. So were we right, Nick, or like?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Cool.
Oh my god. Well,
but
that's all we knew about it in the Rising Action.
I mean, yeah, that's what I knew. Yeah, that's what I knew.
I didn't know anything other than I think Nick told me Hideki Anno directed this.
I did not even know that. Yeah.
Well, I guess to finish what I was saying about what I knew going in.
Yes.
So like, so I know about the manga. Like, I know about that. I kind of didn't want to spoil it for Chris because I knew it might have also deterred him from watching it if I told him that this show only covers like the first 6 volumes out of the 21.
Oh wow, okay.
Oh. And if it's for the podcast, that wouldn't have deterred me.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's part of it.
I'm so glad you said that, Nick, because one of the notes, and we can come back to it later, was the ending kind of is a weird place.
Oh, it stops.
It just kind of stops in a wild...
Show ended.
Yeah. And I'm not even necessarily against it. I think, like, with what they were... Anyway, we'll get to the end when we get to the end. I'm sorry. Jumping ahead.
Okay, so you talk about like more of the smaller details with this that sort of snowball into Gainax's direction and in general animation in the West. So here's one in particular that I did want to bring up because this is going to pretty much be the trajectory of kind of this discussion and date this immediately.
So real quick then, we're in the climax of the podcast. Sorry, continue, Nick.
Okay, so in the climax, the reason that every episode says, please watch this in a well-lit room.
Yes, I did so, but go ahead.
Is because Anno directly was he was pretty concerned that TV Tokyo was starting to reduce or limit more gags and like flashier scenes because of the Pokemon seizure incidents in the 90s.
Oh, that already happened. Okay. I was going to ask that cuz cuz I knew it had something to do with like CRTs, but I was also curious like, hey, did the Pokemon thing happen? So so you're saying it just happened for this?
It just happened. So Anno was like against it at first, but then Anno, like in the if you get the His or Her Circumstance Blu-rays from Nozomi, they which is also a cool part of that Blu-ray. They have like all the interviews with both Anno and Yamagi.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
In production, it's cool. Yeah. So like that's one of the things. It's that and like how they essentially created a lot of like eye catches like that ended up being either censored or they had to like that's when they just started reducing stuff for TVs. And he said that him going out of his way to make the please watch this in a well-lit room gags
yeah
is actually he even said like he's actually proud of it, that one, because more shows across animation started doing that more. And a lot of it starts with him doing the for His and Her Circumstances.
Okay. So he's proud he started that movement.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
sounds like a very Anno thing.
Huh.
No,
I know, Chris. He's so humble. What do you do?
He's so humble.
He's so humble.
But that is cool. That is cool to do as it. And I thought it matched like the tone of some of the jokes in the show too, because there's a lot of "don't do this at home," and then they play on they riff on that a few times, and like moms don't do this at home and all that like cool stuff.
Yes.
There's some good gags playing along with the safety warnings.
Agreed.
But yeah. So there's a lot. I mean, it's a 26 episode show, but I guess we should talk about the relationship between the two main characters, right?
Ariyama, yeah, we can.
Yeah,
we can start there, and then maybe we'll get to the other. There's at least 2 other couples, but we incrementally know less about them.
Yeah, Ian, is there? Make sure there's nothing blocking between you and the mic.
Are you running away?
Oh. I mustn't run away. I'm right here.
You mustn't run away.
Mustn't run away. But yeah. So, and Nick, again, you know a lot about this anime, so feel free to interject with like,
man,
anything at all, like even like any facts that you're like, yeah, it probably goes along with this, and all that stuff. But yeah, let's talk about the relationship between, the big deal, Ariyama and. Oh my god, why am I so fucking bad with names? Miyazawa? Right, Nick? Oh my god, Nick, am I getting that right?
Yeah, Miyazawa and Arima.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did it, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a non-American name, but you got it. I got you.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it's Yukino Miyazawa.
Chris is race.
You heard it here, folks.
No, so it's Miyazawa. Fuck. I know, I'm looking it up.
So Yukino and Soichiro.
Yukino and Soichiro, yeah. Because they call each other by their last names. But that's going to become a problem when we start talking about the family members. So Yukino and Soichiro.
Yeah. And Yukino is top of the class, very popular, and kind of fake with everybody. That's how we meet her.
Facade. She's the queen of vanity, as we find out, like in her character introduction. As they call it. She does it all because she gets good grades, she works hard at getting good grades, being the top of her class, just being good at everything, the model student, even if she's not naturally so, so that people can worship her and worship the grounds she walks, because that's the attention she loves. Where in reality, she's kind of like, in reality, she's super vain and all that.
Yeah.
As we go, like Soichiro comes in and he is the guy at the top of the class. and they become a little competitive to it until what's the like starting factor for do you think for her?
He says I love you.
He says I love you. Is it episode 1 or episode 2?
It's the end of episode 1, I think. No?
Yeah, it's the relationship goes fast. Those first like 6 episodes, it's like every little thing is a step in the relationship.
Well, he says I love you in the first like 6, 7 episodes is kind of a tug of war of, is the circumstance right? Are they communicating clearly? Oh, he wants this, no, she wants that, and them figuring out how to how to communicate well, I guess, you know.
Yeah, and him seeing her facade, him seeing her behind the him seeing behind the facade by visiting her just like randomly to drop off a classical music CD.
Oh yeah, the first person outside of the family to see her dressed down.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And he's like, I know your secret, do my work. Now he later claims, and we're to believe that, according to the show, that he does that only to get to talk to her, right?
Yes.
But like, he's blackmailing her through the fucking thing, and they I think they get over that a little too quickly, but whatever. I don't know how you guys felt about that.
I'm gonna go to the show's defense on the grounds that they're 13 or 14. They're high school freshmen.
First year of high school in Japan. There's only 3 years. So 14, 15.
Oh.
14, 15, right?
Yeah, it's no excuse, like, honestly.
I don't know. I feel like for your very first boyfriend, girlfriend, the show is...
You can blackmail them.
Yeah, no. I guess my idea being is they're so immature and they...
Yeah, Chris.
I know.
What do you want?
So immature.
Hey,
it reflects pretty well real adolescence. I mean, I would agree with you that the show maybe should have made a bigger deal out of like, oh, you really shouldn't. Hey, you shouldn't blackmail people. But
no, my thing was like, he's like, I wasn't blackmailing. I was trying to get close to you.
Yeah, gaslighting's not real. Come on.
Gaslighting's not fucking real.
I don't know what you're talking about, Yukno.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Anyway, they get over that like episode 2 or 3, I think, right? Like,
yeah.
When they're on like it's at night, and then they're on the going through that hallway Chris loves, and then
I pointed out to Nick these shots they kept reusing throughout the show. In the 1 or 2 episodes he watched with me, and then they used those shots like 3 times in the episode we were watching, and I went, look, see, it's the same fucking hallway where most of the light is blooming out the hallway, so you only see like the top right of it, and like it's weird. And they kept using that shot, and it's wild. Animation, huh? And then but yeah, they get over that and they start, just let's be friends, let's get to know the real us,
right?
And then they start hanging out more, realize they're affectionate towards each other, and then they're trapped in school on a rainy night.
Oh yeah.
And are they gonna do it? No, says the song after the thunder stops them. I actually really like that gag where the children start singing. I didn't know that was like a song kids were taught in Japan. The whole
is that like a thing?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the gag. Men become wolves, and they will hunt sheep, which are women. So don't let them take you.
Good lord! Oh my
God! And it's like, holy shit, that's fucked. No wonder she's having like a PTSD flashback. So, and I don't remember because they don't treat that one as the first time they do it, right? They treat one later as the first.
It's not till like episode 14. Yeah. And I mean, since you brought it up, let me ask you. I on the whole thought that like the show has a lot of good takes about learning empathy and learning how to talk to your partner.
I actually think it does.
Talk to other people. I don't know. Is the show's attitude towards people's first time's a little cavalier, or am I just a weird American, or what are we thinking? That I did think like, wow, they're just gonna hook up, and then there's another 10 episodes or something after that. So I don't know. What did we think? Like,
I get what you're trying to say about like there's a lot of like talking without talking.
Yeah.
You know, even in the English dub, and I'm sure it's even in the original Japanese, it's like even more obtuse because there's a lot of that's just a thing in in at least anime called like that I've seen where you know the whole famous "the moon's beautiful tonight" means I love you in Japanese because it's like a lot of indirect stuff. Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. I think I think the reason they count the one later as the first time, because that one makes a lot more sense. That one's a lot more like, yeah, that seemed more natural.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas maybe it's supposed to like, you know, there's that weird tension, especially when you're a teenager in a relationship. Like, we have to do it at some point. Like, like
I think that comes up for him in the thing where people are kind of incredulous that he's not pressuring his girlfriend to do something with him. Yeah.
That's like a really good part. That's really good on his part. But it is like, and maybe that is pointing out the societal pressure, right? Like, well, you guys gotta do it.
Yeah. Right.
Just hurry the fuck up. Especially when like you're a teenager and everything's gotta happen like fucking now.
Yeah.
Because everyone's an impatient asshole. So like
but also you only lived so long. Everything feels short. Yeah.
But also they are the two like idols of the school.
Yes.
And so people are watching
closely.
You know,
yes.
This is the relationship to watch because they're the two top people. At least I assume. I had to remind. Me and Nick had this conversation. We're like, yeah, that thing, and Ian, I'm sure you can empathize too. We went to big high schools, really big, stupidly big. Like,
yes.
I think the graduating class for mine was like the 17th or 7th, one of those fucking numbers. Biggest in the nation. Like,
jeez. Okay.
When I found that out like a year later, so I remember like I remember talking to friends about this, where they would relate to like small high school stories, and I would just go, dude, I have no fucking clue why everyone's up in everyone's business, in some of this stuff, because there were so many people when I went to high school that, like, not only did you not care, there's no possible fucking way you can know who everyone is. That's crazy.
It's such
you kind of just had your small group, like.
Yes, exactly. You know your insular group. And when I transferred schools, when I was younger, I went to a much smaller school, and it was exactly that. Everybody's up your butt about with everything.
It was kind of like a weird, like, looking back, I kind of like that part of that, of having a big class. Granted, there's a whole other slew of problems I'm not going to get into now with having a massive class.
We're not going to fix American education real fast in the middle.
I know, real fucking quick. But that aspect I like, which was knowing at some point you are free to do what you want if you realize that no one's up in everyone's business.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of cool. So. But so there's that, right? Nick, how do you think? Because you're more familiar with this work than we are at this point. In the sense that you've probably seen it multiple times. Well, definitely multiple times. Do you think? Yeah, it's a little cavalier about how they're going about their first time. Is it weird that do you think it's weird that they count the second time? They do it as their first time.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You know,
as their true first time. Yeah. You know what's funny? That's a pretty common trope in shoujo manga, because this is a shoujo.
Okay.
Yeah, like especially in the 90s, because like there's this whole thing of like the I don't know why it's a term, that. But again, okay, so then we get to the whole cultural, why they do this that way, and in the 90s.
Yeah, right.
So okay. So from what I can gather, someone that read stuff casually, that just happens to land on shoujo, because not only is it Gainax, which we know of, a lot of the animation's being done through JC Staff, who JC Staff most known for up to this point is Revolutionary Girl Utena. So and that's another like a
cool.
solid.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
A solid year prior to Korikano in terms of a adaptation of original work.
Yeah.
And that's another romance.
Okay.
Not necessarily shoujo, but it's definitely like a sort of like, you have pretty much a lot of these tropes coming out of, like, you have the like, oh, this is our force, like this is like we're together and then we have a first time, but then like it's not the true first time, like because it's like not like when we truly know each other first time.
Okay.
Okay, wait.
Man.
So is maybe that
because that's a Japanese thing, because the relationship thing is you become girlfriend and boyfriend first, and then you figure each other out. It isn't in America where you
it was
figure
all
each other out
fun
and then
and games before.
No, I'm serious. Yeah,
that's not the real shit. Oh man, I don't.
Chris, I'm telling you because like
no, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. I'm listening.
I'm just saying, going forward, if you're gonna keep watching shoujo stuff, this is common. This is like a decade-long outlook on relationships, because like it's because the American thing is you hang out and then consider being girlfriend and boyfriend, but the common thing in Japan for decades is the sentiment of you become boyfriend and girlfriend and then figure each other out like after.
Well, the American thing for a long time in media was you get married and then like kids appear and you just assume they did it.
All your resources start funneling in. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, some fucking way. Whereas, well, it started happening in media more and more in the last 20 years, where it's like sex can happen at any moment. It doesn't. Which is why I guess I have the perspective of I don't like that trope. Seems just like you don't want to admit your first time was weird and awkward, and it's some coward shit. But I know that's but I know so saying that means I'm calling out a whole cultural thing. And like,
Japan, why are you such wusses? I don't get it.
I'm glad you bring that up. You know how there's like shonen and seinen, right?
Yes.
Right.
So there's young boys, and
I feel like Nick has had this conversation before with people.
No, because like I say, because I work with people that do shoujo, like they do shoujo.
That is true. Yeah,
writing for games and visual novels. So I had to literally be sat down. I had like a day where I was sat down and explained the cultural decades.
A whole slew of like possibly like everyone says shonen is the biggest genre, but like shoujo is probably like a close second just in terms 100%. Of sales, right? Like, yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, because between that is the trifecta of like editorial categories for manga is shonen. The order literally is shonen, then seinen, then josei. Josei is I'm sorry, shoujo. Shoujo is for young adolescent girls to young adult women, and josei is for directly adult women, where that gets into like what Chris is talking about. Like he is talking about like, and it actually emerged from the 80s, like this sort of alternative manga like outlook on actually getting into the nitty gritty of relationships, especially in a decade where like there's so much marketing and capitalistic pressure to be together. So like going into this, like I kind of like, even like from the visual standpoint, it's kind of weird because like and Chris pointed out too how much the style changed over, like there's like a sharp turn in how it changes stylistically.
Yeah, there really is.
And that is because there is an exact moment where Ano does the first half, like the first 13 episodes, and then Hiroki Sato does the last 13. He does episode 16 to 26 in directing. And what ends up happening is, funny enough, Ano's the author doesn't like it, or in the sense of like the author, even though there's so many interviews about sort of how there was, she kind of understood that it was just going to be Ano's thing, because that's peak Ano. Like this is like he's the Ava guy.
Yeah,
So
she
Ava
got
guys,
the Ava guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So she said her hands were off then, and then what happened was I think there was an interview with Yamaga in the same French magazine about how he was stating that the author sort of wanted more romance. The author was hoping there was more focus in romance than the comedy that Ano and everyone was having a blast doing.
Right.
And the author kind of wanted more because she wanted more of a balance of like a little bit more romance, a little bit more comedy. But they said that's where any form of like notes or verbal disagreements from the author came from. But then the author even said like, despite all that, she knew like this is Ano's thing. Like my hands are up. Like
right.
Yeah, you're gonna tell the guy who did Ava at the time, right? Like in that moment, right? That cultural moment of Japan, because there really is like a weird thing with Ava in the entertainment industry of like before and after.
Yeah.
So like, no, I get that. Where like she kind of comes out, but what you're saying is like when Sato comes on the scene, the director Fully Cooley, by the way,
Right.
halfway through, and that's when she's like a little, or maybe not a little, but she's not liking what the show is.
She's becoming more verbal about like her disagreements with a lot of it. In there used to be a bunch of interviews of this collected on Nausicaa.net. That was like the old website for the Studio Ghibli like newsletters. So that's where that's where it was translated about Ano's like the censorship with the intros, the usually with the authors. It's long dead, but Wayback Machines and everything collected them. But so I'm just saying this, so this is all going to pretty much set up the structure of the show in the meta, because essentially Karikano as a manga is way more romance than comedy. Like there's way more for the 21 volumes, it's way more focused on like their relationship, where it starts off as shoujo and then slowly becomes josei, because there's literally like a time jump of
that's
like
cool.
Of them in their 30s. Like
damn, that's literally what I've been like wanting from some romances, where I'm like, yeah, but let me see them when they're adults and everything changes, like
through the last few volumes you get that. It's specifically the time jump. Oh my god. The time jump starts on because the manga like it goes all the way on through Tokyo Pop to it ends in 2005. But essentially they're like the last, I think it's around volume 15, 16. You have like them actually explore more of Soichiro's like childhood stuff with the parent, with his whole parent thing, and then like how that affects him as an adult going into having children himself.
Yeah, because we don't get much of that, like until we get the one or two episodes about like how like he's still kind of this stunted child, right? Because a lot of his decisions were made as a child, of who he wants to be, and now like, and then the last episode, the last 2 or 3 episodes, especially the last one, is like, okay, we're seeing him trying to grow by meeting this woman, and like he's being forced to confront parts of himself he's long locked away, and maybe that facade will break. Whereas, and also his the one guy friend who I really like, I forget his name, the
blonde
dude with what's up,
the blonde guy with the piercing. I think he's got like an earring.
Oh, maybe. No, that's the rock. No, you're thinking of the punk rocker, right? Like, I'm thinking of the dude who comes on the scene and tells you kind of, bitch, you ain't shit. And
Yes.
like, in one of my favorite scenes in the end, I just think it's so fucking funny. It's like, man, I don't get it. And then
Yes.
keeps walking. That's so fucking good and so funny.
So Chris,
but yeah, how you kind of get to see that, right?
Yeah.
Which is a real thing in relationships.
Yeah.
Is that you find out parts of yourself you did not, either one, you did not know about, and two, like that you've been putting away are going to start coming up.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to be real with someone. And that's a real aspect of you, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Nick. Keep going.
So no, I was saying that's a great point because that ends up being the seed sort of sown when this time skip happens in volume of the manga, which unfortunately, like it's that classic anime thing back then of like, in a way, like the anime becomes a pitch for the manga because of just how little it covers, but it like ends in like probably the weakest spot sometimes of the overarching story.
It kind of does.
Like Soul Eater, there's so many of those, but
well, Soul Eater made up its own ending.
It made it, Full Metal, right? Just makes it up,
yeah.
Man, that's angry Chris in investing so much time in Soul Eater. I really liked Soul Eater up until a point, and then it really took a gut punch to me, and I went, all right.
But yeah, sort of moving forward, I do want to kind of like preview one thing Chris talked about that he wished more from the show that the manga explores specifically for 3 solid volumes.
Oh wow. Okay.
There's the moment the time skip happens. Well, right before the time skip, sorry. They're about to graduate high school, right? And there's a moment where Soichiro, the perfect boyfriend, finds out that he has the opportunity to inherit the family like fortune.
Because he's turned it around, his perception in the family or something like that, or
because he wants to get revenge on all of them, and he's gonna exile his aunt and uncle.
Whoa, shit.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait, the aunt and uncle who raised him?
Talked him?
Yeah, how does that whole situation come about?
It okay. So
that sounds like a lot of people either gotta die beforehand or like
yeah, because there's a thing about how Soichiro, like it turns out like his facade, like his major facade is like his whole intention with his family. He put a deeper facade with his family that's been bullying and like his whole strange family thing. And then like essentially what's coming down is like once he gets this opportunity for power to put over the strange family members that abused or took advantage of him and all that. He's no, wait, my bad. He's not going to exile his aunt and uncle. His aunt and uncle were exiled, and he's planning to bring them back.
Oh, okay. And I was like, what? Like, that's a lot.
My bad.
He had a dark turn.
That's a big turn. That's a You mean because throughout the show is like him just going, man, I've got to make sure my aunt and uncle are good.
Yeah, my bad. No, the members of the higher members of the family, they exile the aunt and uncle from the family before he graduates. So he goes, I'm gonna inherit the name and the family. I'm bringing them back, and the parents that exile them and abused me, they're getting exiled first. So,
good for him.
And then between all this,
now I'm on board.
So between all this, like when he reveals this plan after high school, all these bombs, right? Soichiro's birth mother comes back, Ryoko.
Who we see once in the show.
Yeah, but she comes back to get the money from him the moment he gets it.
Oh my god!
So this is the setup of the.
We have to kill her.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So that's that whole thing. I really want to see. Yeah. So that whole thing, I really want to see animated so bad, especially back then. Like that would have been so fucking hard. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
that would be so crazy.
That sounds cool. So that sounds like a cool way to, if you want to continue manga. But I think that's a good jumping off point for my 2 big points in this. The 2 big things I would say about the show, right?
Go ahead.
The best thing I can say about the show is, I want more too. Probably not going to happen. Or if it does, it won't be the same, right? It's been
26 years, man.
Yeah, it's going to be 30 years. Yeah. That's a lot. A lot has happened. Countries don't exist anymore that existed in '99.
Yeah.
And 2, I think Soichiro is the weakest character in the show.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that as interesting as anyone else. Yeah, he's got the childhood thing, but like a lot of people do. And the second is he's not the most interesting character. He's got the childhood thing, but that's pretty much it. The thing with his parents is genuinely like, that's a cool. Every time I was learning about that relationship, I wanted to know more, and I wish they talked and I wanted to see him, because it sounds like his parents want to break through to him, but and I'm calling his not his birth parents, but
his adopted
parents who stepped up, the adopted ones.
Yeah,
I'm calling them the real parents because they are. They're kind of wanting to break. They want him to be a human, like a person, where he's kind of made the shell, and I would have liked that, kind of exploring that more. Because you kind of get hints. Yeah, he gets along with the dad of They get along with the parents of Yukano, and they're great parents. They're like crazy great parents. And they both have one of my favorite episodes, which is the teacher who wants to break them up.
Yeah,
and then they have the class meeting, and the parents stick up for them. And they're saying, go ahead.
I was probably gonna steal your quote. The line about summer, like one day of high school is probably more valuable than a year of adulthood, or something like that. Great.
I don't. Great. I agree his sentiment. I don't quite agree with. I would rephrase it personally, but
I knew what he meant. Yeah,
I knew what he meant. Yeah, I'm with you. And also the lesson being it's more, love is going to be more important in the long run for them.
Yeah.
Because and I don't know how it is in Japanese society. It's probably very different.
Yeah.
Man, one of the things you learn about growing up, coming out, is how fucking little those years of high school and before actually meant something. It was
other
all
than
these little
sentimentally
moments.
Yeah, it's all not
sentimentally maybe, but even then,
I think
because there's better times. There's always better times ahead, but also how much of it affects your world. It's really those little weird psychological moments that either happen in it or around it. It's not the education. It's kind of is, but it's weird.
It's the socialization too.
Yeah. It's socialization. Yeah. It's so much more. Than just I went to class one day. Which is why if I ever give a talk in my high school, I'm going to rip into the teacher who would not let me get my guitar signed by James Hetfield, who showed up one day.
Fuck,
I remember that.
I can't wait. I'm the pettiest motherfucker. I will. My college is already asking me to do talks. But I'm happy with them. The high school, man, you fuck, dude. Oh, I can't fucking wait. I'm gonna make them think I'm gonna do the whole thing of I got this whole speech plan, make your kids feel good, and just throw it all out. This motherfucking teacher, I didn't need shit, but I wanted that James Hetfield signature. Oh my god. Yeah, I like that episode a lot. Just because I'm looking at time here. Let's. Yeah. So the relationship ends on that note. Where now you can. Soichiro has the line of, she can do without you. She can live if you were gone. She would still be able to live a really good life. You cannot live without her. And he's 100% right. He's got nothing.
Yeah.
Once he's figured out through Yukano that these grades and everything aren't actually what are going to make you happy.
Yeah.
Or make you feel fulfilled in your life. Once he's and then that part of him starts coming out of just him realizing all these dark things he's been suppressing with his adoptive parents, and just these parts of himself he's realizing, I'm not a good person, baby, on the inside, because I have these really bad emotions, such as being possessive.
Both
real bad.
Being possessive, and I wanted to throw out, like, for his characterization, I will say, like, I think there's a lot of young men who feel disconnected from their own feelings, like Alien, and he describes that, like, that what's the word I want? I guess removal from the self, where he's like,
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't feel anything at all, even though I think I should. So I don't know, that felt grounding, and
he's a
I think
psychopath
helpful.
now.
And I don't know, I also kind of liked that the show left me lingering with, nobody's really resolved these issues. Their character foibles are a part of their strengths and weaknesses at the same time, and that also feels super real and grounding for at least the main characters we follow.
And that would have been fine, and then I would agree with you on that level.
Mm-hmm.
However, they do not do the fucking play that in
they don't show us the
show.
Fucking how good.
They don't even get to the day of the premiere in the show.
Yeah,
fucking horse shit is what I say. And this is going back to my thing with K-On, where they do not go to Budokan, and that is bullshit. Whatever, man. Whatever. Yeah, it's. I mean, listen, I agree with you with the feeling stuff, but that right there, especially when you have 2 episodes of. I mean, those 3 episodes in the middle, are filler. Probably, I can feel it.
Yep.
And 2 of them are recap.
Dude,
but the third one, I will say, the second to last episode with the 2 sisters. Just again, we're running out of time, so I'm just gonna start throwing shit. The Yukano's two sisters are probably my favorite characters. I think they're hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the youngest sister. They told her to just yell, but I think her lines are funny. So when she's yelling at them. So the second last episode is my favorite episode. And it's probably the closest to Fully Cooley now that you say Hiroshi Sato. It actually reminds you a lot of Brittle Bullet. That episode of Fully Cooley, so episode 4.
Yeah.
In both its direction, the way it's cut, and then I like the plot. I think it's funny. I think it's a whole misunderstanding of circumstance. But then it goes to extremes.
Is that next to last one? We didn't really mention that. I'll throw out quickly also I love the mixed media of it, the occasional like live action photos that just show up.
Very Ano.
There's a scene where the pretty boy in class F is doing like art books and calendars and doll, but then we just get like a Ken doll with a haircut, and I was like, this is excellent. This is hilarious. This is comedy gold.
Oh or the guy Yukano fights who I don't know whose face that is. That's either Ano or
I think that was Ano.
It looks like Ano around that time. Where she fights.
Nick, did you think of Pun Pun when you saw that moment? I immediately thought of
sorry. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I think Ian's asking it. Did that remind you of Pun Pun?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was I thought you had something else, but yeah, like think kinda. I think I really think about the time, but I
right? It wasn't on Pun Pun didn't invent it, so I don't even think Ano invented it.
No, I think I personally didn't think of it at the time, but I can see that a bit. Yeah.
I can see. No, so there's so I guess just to start wrapping up soon, Nick, any other big points you want to bring up, and then we'll go to what's the big point Ian wants to bring up, what's the big point mine. I already kind of said my piece, but if I think of one more, I'll come up with it.
All right.
Nick, what's the big point you wanted to bring up in this podcast with it, if there's any more?
I think like to sort of like wrap up everything. I personally love this series like because my first time I watched it was when I was I think I just graduated college, so like 2014, 2015. I think it was something that kind of just grew on me for a bit. Where I think there's a good case of like I enjoyed the first half more when I was younger, but as an adult I appreciate the last half a lot more. kind of the way
Mm.
it's been.
See, I might agree with you. I might like the second half a little bit more
Yeah,
because all
I
the
think so too.
characters are established, right? Like, so you get to.
They're actually having like genuine like things, and I thought was kind
Yeah.
of cool is like, and then going into the manga, like I just really enjoy the series because they just actually get it. You know, especially I think if you were really into those series back then, like this would be a really really interesting take on romance and comedy, and I think and, you know, because it's Gynex and like it's something that sort of like seeped into all our outlooks and
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, in terms of
So,
art and like animation and like sight gags, this is very much up our alley
Yes.
yeah,
in
totally.
both these directors.
Yeah, I mean, because especially the music too, because it is done by, you know,
Yeah.
it's Ano's buddy Sugisu Shido.
Yeah, just
He
that
just does
piano.
everything. Yeah, Shin Godzilla. You know him.
Yeah.
He's him. But
Oh,
yeah,
I
like
know
I
that's
think
sad. I was pointing out to Nick. There's that sad piano they start up when people are talking about emotions,
Yes.
and like it just
That's
keeps
just
happening.
Gynex, no?
What's up?
Is that not just a Gynex thing? I was like, oh, well, yeah, sad piano
Maybe
over.
it's probably like an anime. I don't even think that's general to Guy Nick. I think it's an anime thing, but it is the piano that of the guy Nick was talking about, where you just hear the dun dun dun, and then it's like, oh, someone's about to have a notion. So like, someone's about to feel things.
Oh
There
yeah.
should have been. There should be an antagonistic character in this show where it just, oh, you're having feelings. That's where you're feeling things, or like,
yeah. So one thing I kind of want to point out about
good
both
pitch.
the manga and anime is like, you know, I talk about like the historical aspect of it, and even to the point of where the manga was actually one of the first licenses ever acquired by Mix Entertainment in the 2000s, who would then change their name to 2001 to Tokyo Pop.
Wow.
Okay, that's cool.
So, and it was a big deal because this was Tokyo Pop's sort of their statement going into publication was orienting manga in its original form or its intended form from right to left. So, His and Her Circumstances becomes one of the first in the U.S. to be right to left.
That sounds cool. That's cool. Good for them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's baller shit.
Oh shit! Changing the game.
Yeah, so I think what's really cool is like you kind of get this show and this sort of series that is literally in this weird like sort of nirvana of like a decade's ending, a new millennium's happening for animation, a new like Ava just ended and like a new chapter is happening for Guy Next for Tsurumaki and Ano moving forward. And it's just to me it's always a fascinating series in the meta sense. And I think like there's a lot of cool stuff in the rom com sense of like you have intentions of romance and comedy, or like adapting the romance to the comedy or comedy to the romance.
Yeah.
And I think like His and Her Circumstances is such this interesting sort of balance it seems to be having where stuff we've seen before, it's like stuff we can kind of go, it's more like it's more front loaded, or like it's more a heavier percentage one direction or the other. But what I like about
where the romance kind of happens, they're together now. Now we can do comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus this does I still think even in the second they do a good job like pacing out the different phases of having a relationship, right?
No, I agree. I think that's maybe one of the stronger things that the show does is besides like doing the internal work for I'm imagining younger people, like people near that age group watching it who are like high school age, let's say.
Yeah.
Like it's good for talking to them through the internal like emotional crap, but it's also good about like and then this is what it's like when you've been going out for a year and a half. Like it's different. Yeah.
Who
exactly.
are you?
What are your goals? What do you want? Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want, man? This is it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I think that's like in terms of like a final statement. Kerry Kano, His and Her Circumstances has always been sort of. I think regardless of his genre, like it's just been something I've always had a fascination with, and it kind of just grew on me as I gotten older.
Yeah.
Because especially like when you watch a lot more stuff and kind of like our history of romance outlooks in media and depictions and stuff, I actually really appreciate that you have a series that genuinely like kind of uh, where it's like a genuinely heartfelt look, and it's very funny look on it too.
Yeah, it's
I
very
feel like
it's very
not
human.
shallow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not shallow at all. It's very human. It's trying to understand like this was obviously written by someone or people whoever inputted this stuff. You know, has experienced love and loss and like just has been through this shit and goes, okay, I know what these people are thinking at this exact moment. They don't know they're thinking this, but this is what like this is the emotions going on, and this is that part of the relationship. It feels real. I do have to say it does assume that the two people are perfect, and but I mean, like, what are we gonna do? A weird experiment, like where we take all the little flaws and everything, you know?
Right.
If we're focusing on specifically of the progression of a high school relationship, you know?
They're aspirational to a degree, but they're also like demonstrational, I think, to a degree too. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Nick. Ian, what do you want to what big takeaway? I guess we're doing the what we got out of it, right?
What I got out of this,
the falling action.
I did get a great watch out of this. I know we maybe usually kind of save this for other things, but I will say I didn't realize all the other things adjacent to this that it would bring kind of memories back to me because I mean, not just we've been talking about how Anno and the director of Furikuri had their hands all over this project, but like the Gynax of it all, like I was looking back at like all the other Gynax stuff that we've watched. There's a lot of seminal just stuff in my brain that I'm sure is stuck with all three of us to a degree, having watched that stuff, you know? Like
it's the most nostalgic thing I've watched in a while.
Even the weirder one, there was a series that was a co-production that had people, and it was through the same medium that I watched. His and Her Circumstance was the Please Twins, and I hadn't thought of that as a show since I was like 13, and I was like,
the what twins?
Please Twins.
Please Twins.
It was another rom-com about hitting on twins. Anyway, it was yeah. But
Jesus, this is anime. Hang on.
Oh, I remember this. I'm looking at it. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too.
At the cover. Yeah, I remember this. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know about this cut. What? So what? He's like dating twins.
He's and then in a kind of harem-esque style, the two twins decide later, you know what? We should both date him instead of both being mad at him and each other.
Chris, that happens in real life. You can look it up.
I know it happens. It's fucking weird
science,
still,
Chris.
And I don't think it should be normalized. You know what this is? This is that episode of Community, the incest episode.
I was about to say, yeah.
Where it's all leading to a joke about a guy like, "Hi, I wrote the incest episode. Here's all the things you can know about incest and why it's not as weird as I say it is."
Did you know that second cousins have a very low chance of having genetic mutations?
Yeah, it's just.
I love. I mean, I do love that episode of Community. Anyway,
it's one of the better late episodes. Like,
it's one of the pretty good. That man knows how to marry his cousin.
Hey.
But no, it kind of brought me back to like a moment of.
Hang on. I want to just make sure. So I'm not cool with it. Anyway,
same here. That's silly.
No, it like a nostalgia for that moment, for looking back at where it is, and I guess here I'll bring it into the present, is how much it's actually influenced outside of us, you guys. Like, there's a whole market that's basically kind of predicated on like this is the Bible of a generation in a way. Not to oversell it, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not to oversell.
I mean,
Bible of a generation.
Well, I mean, it's an
I get what you're saying.
sound
I'm just like,
that keep coming back to. Like we just, you know, yeah.
I get what you're saying. I'm just like the phrase. Okay. No, I'm with you. I got a lot of nostalgic hits from this of like Gynex stuff I was watching. I mean, Gynex is how I got into anime, just that studio.
Yeah.
And like liking them a lot, then getting into Trigger. And then meeting with the anime community and going, oh no, not that. And then figuring out like what I liked and what I didn't like from. And then of course, you know, the whole thing of like it's not a genre, it's a medium. You know,
yes.
Like you got to approach it like that. My big takeaway from this. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna throw in. Yeah, you can't expect to enjoy Please Twins and then like Miyazaki. Those are very different experiences. Yeah. Go ahead.
My big takeaway from these. One is Nick. I really enjoyed this. I actually thought it was good. That was really good. I like the approach to the romance a lot. It's something. It's both analytical, but like still kind of like it tells a good story and it's entertaining. The comedy helps like move the vehicle along, so it's not just like, well, if you're in this in a relationship, kids, this is what like is usually happening, and you know you just gotta talk. It's fucking listen. You're gonna hear that a lot, but it's true. It's fucking
the
talk
show
to
never
the person.
ever feels preaching.
No, and it
they
doesn't.
Make it fun. They make it
fun. They and especially in the first half, the episode, each one's a different aspect of the relationship. Like of stages of dating someone, and you're finding out, oh, I really do care about these. I not only care, I might be in love, and I am in love. Now what? Like type of thing. And like a really good approach to all those stances. I mean, I have complaints of Soichiro like standing or like still standing. I like a lot of the other characters in this show. I think Yukano's a great. I think she's super entertaining to watch when she can be. And like I'm a little about the thing of like, yeah, she's good at everything, and I go, yeah, I know that's like a thing in stories, but whatever. I like the group of friends she gets. I even like Shibari Hime, the short one. Even though I usually kind of like am not into those characters, but I think she's funny. She's got great lines. I like the antagonistic thing, even though they kind of flanderize her at the end. She's just a gremlin hanging on people's back, eating their food. I liked all the characters. I like the guy characters they introduced. Like I said, Sakura and her gang. It was super entertaining all the way through, and the animation was like I thought looked really good. So it got really energetic towards the end. I enjoyed those. Again, the second and last episode is my favorite. But yeah, the big takeaway is I really like this exploration of a relationship more than I've seen in any like other romantic anime, where it's kind of just like about them getting together, and then and then we assume it's just happy, right? We don't see all the stuff that comes up, which is one of the things the show touches upon, but we don't quite get to. But Nick is saying it happens in the manga, which is you find out a lot of things about yourself when you're this close to people and you're trying to be honest. And it's a lot of like bad things that you've been ignoring, but they're there and they're coming up because you're now being more of a whim to your actual emotions. And that happens in relationships. You find out things about yourself.
You find out things about yourself. The relationship reveals things about you, and the relationship gives you kind of the vehicle by which to actually look at yourself and figure out what's working and what's not. Like, I think that if the show was longer, like, we would probably get more into the Anno-esque, like, his inability to love himself and her.
That's where the show definitely was steering into, right? Like, just all that. Is that, can you actually love someone if you don't love yourself? And I mean, I think we can all agree the answer is no. Like, you have to.
Not well, certainly. Not well.
You can get to a certain point, but you'll never know true love if you can't know self-love type thing.
Word.
True. Yeah. So that's my big. I like this. I like this a lot. This is the best anime I've watched in a while.
Oh yeah.
What's the only one competing with it right now? I don't know.
Pantheon.
I like Dorb.
Is Pantheon count
or which one?
Pantheon.
Oh, is Pantheon? Yeah. Pantheon's really good.
That is awesome.
Yep. Can I ask, gentlemen?
Really good.
For the show, His and Her Circumstances, how much percentile comedy to romance?
Ian, I'm glad you got this podcast back on track because we have to do that now, which is His or Her. See, professional over here. His and Her Circumstance. What is the ratio? Do y'all think?
It's definitely a tighter ratio for sure.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. Our last close call was, what was it? Was it 60-40 or 55-40?
The closest one we have is a Nice Indian Boy, and it's 55-45.
Mm-hmm.
55 ROM, sorry, 45 COM.
Thank you so much, sir. My first volley is it's the reverse numbers of a Nice Indian Boy.
And okay, so 45 ROM, 55 COM is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's my pitch for His and Her.
Got it. Okay, Nick, what would you say?
I think I'm gonna have to agree with Ian. I think it's like, especially those first couple episodes, I think kind of pushes it more towards comedy. So,
I feel like the comedy aspect comes out a lot more in the last half.
Oh, I didn't find any of it funny. Maybe that's.
Oh yeah. I'm the only one who likes the Sato gags and the Imaishi crazy. Whatever, fine.
No, okay. Yeah, no, I'm with Ian. I might agree with that.
Yes.
So I'm leaning towards. So I actually agree with that number.
All right.
But I'm gonna do something a little brave here.
Oh, okay. Be brave.
Oh.
I think it's actually a lot closer to 50-50 than maybe we're giving it credit for as someone who binged it in the last few days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Granted, that is not how you're supposed to watch that show. That show really was supposed to be week to week.
You're getting a lot of refreshers all the time if you're binging it. Yeah.
I don't. I here's the thing. I agree with the idea that it leans more towards comedy and romance, but not by much.
Not much, yeah.
So I think, roll with me on this. I feel like we're giving it a 45 ROM and a 55 COM because 5 is a real nice number.
Okay.
I think.
Let me pitch an ugly number, guys.
Yeah, let me pitch a fucked up. I'm gonna say. It's like 53 comedy and 47 ROM. I think it's actually so. I think this is the closest. Here's the thing. I think it's closer to the perfect 50-50 we've been looking for than a Nice Indian Boy. That's my logic.
I can get on board with that statement.
And I don't think, but I wouldn't be able. I don't think it's quite the perfect split.
Yes.
But I think it's closer than that. That's my argument.
I'll throw to Nick. I'm not opposed to it, and I mean you've got the document. So the only thing is you've got to get it. You got to.
Sorry, Zay.
I mean, you know what?
I know who that is.
I can live with the prime number. I think I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we're good. We're good with that.
Okay.
Now we ask the question as I write this quick text message.
Sure.
Almost done recording. All right, there you go. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so we're going with that. We're going with 53% comedy.
Yeah.
And 47% raw.
Why? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Every time you say it now, I'm gonna probably laugh because it's such a preposterous thing. But yes.
But you know what I'm feeling. You know what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
What's that?
Okay. Do we buy the romance?
Yeah. This is maybe the most real, I would say.
Same.
Yeah. I don't know if they'd be real people in real life, but like they share aspects of humans. So
I guess from the relationship part, they're like, this is going to be a weird comparison. These characters are like anatomy skeletons of of this is how a relationship is, kids. This is how it might be for like. So in that sense, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
It's so close to After School Special Nets. I know what you're saying. But I buy the romance. I buy it. I'm convinced.
Yeah,
I'm convinced you're in love. Okay, now we got to do it. We got to rank it.
All right.
Is His and Her Circumstance better than Sleepless in Seattle?
Yes. Easily.
Yes.
100%. Is His and Her Circumstance better than 50 First Dates?
Yes.
No.
Easily.
Really?
No,
really?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I
just wanted to throw that out there.
Tell us how much you love Sandler. Anyway, go.
Hey, listen, man. It was an interesting premise. The second half of the movie.
Rob Schneider, yeah.
I fucking dude. Every time he talks, it's like, what are you fucking doing, dude? What do you do? Like, it should be. I know everyone on screen is like laughing on you, but that's just because we have them doing that.
Yeah,
like
they're paid.
Yeah. Crazy is it better than Crazy Rich Asians?
Yeah.
I agree. I enjoyed it more. Is it better than A Nice Indian Boy?
Is that the top of the list?
No, that's no. That's number 2. We're at number 2. Nice Indian Boy is number 2.
What's number 1?
Love and Basketball. I don't know if you remember that, Ian. Me and you had that big conversation.
I do remember it.
And my thing was, I think Love and Basketball is a better movie. I really think it is.
Are we? I'm thinking 2 at least. What do you guys?
Okay,
think?
So you think it's better than A Nice Indian Boy? That's where we're at, right?
Look, it's Pride Month, so I think we should.
I know we should have had these switch.
God damn, you guys!
I know we can't. By sheer existence, it must be on top. I understand, but
you have to put the gay people on top, or else it's hate.
I get it. But hey, you gotta admit though, it was really funny. It was a funny show.
Yeah, it was really good, and I agree. I think the based on the parameters of what we're talking about, it's a pretty damn good piece. So I'm happy for it to be in the top 3.
I think. So I think it is. So are we saying it's better than Nice Indian Boy? Because I think it's better than Nice Indian Boy.
I think it's better than Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh fuck, dude. You get one of those jokes when you're doing this podcast. You're like, I shouldn't say that on recording, but I can't wait to tell Ian and Nick once the recording's off.
Is this slur? Oh
no.
Okay.
No. You'll see why when I say it.
Oh no.
All right. Is it better than Love and Basketball?
Do we have a love for the game? Or do we have a love for the game?
Is that what you think that movie is? That's Nick's summarization of the movie. They have a love for the game.
Okay, so here's where I'm at. Because I'm somewhat conflicted. I'm not having a hard and fast answer, but my first thought here is I would rewatch all of Love and Basketball before I try and rewatch all of this. Probably.
Fuck. Huh. I agree with you on that. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying because there are a lot of there's so much recap in the show.
Yeah.
There's a lot of recap. We never see them gain the power to fly, which is what the intro promises.
Right.
You're right. It's all a lie.
Did you guys watch? There's so much charming. This show is very charming. It really is. It's what keeps you going, right down to the post-credit stuff where they preview the
next
episode, which is having the 2 sisters voice actors, and they're acting legends, they're voiceover legends. Just having a good time and fun, and I watched every single one of those. There's so much historical context in here, especially if you know animation.
I mean,
but there's a lot of rough patches in this show of just a lot of recap and not a lot of jokes happening throughout. Sorry, go ahead.
And I think that we were all a little dissatisfied with
where it ends.
I wouldn't have minded the last episode if it weren't the last one. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. It just and it ended. Well, there you go, man. 30 years.
You want to read it?
Yeah, you want to read it? You want to buy the manga?
Are you getting? I think that's fair. I think
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I would say because now we're running into the thing comparing a movie to a show, and like the show, especially running this long, just inevitably has weaker moments.
Yeah. Especially it does so much well with its budget too. It obviously did not have a high budget. But it utilizes that to its fullest and in really clever ways.
I mean,
like there's so many. Here's what I would counter Ian's saying with this. Because I do agree. However, there's a lot more moments in His and Her Circumstance that I would just look up and watch again, and I'd probably do that before watching moments from Love and Basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I dig. Okay. I dig.
But But I agree with the sentiment Ian is saying, and that's like the big thing for me is how much you would actually go back.
Because I'm going back to going back to our December record, and I feel like it's a similar mentality. As much as I love Better Call Saul, I can't tell you like it's number one. You should rewatch that more.
What are you talking about? You gave it number one.
Did I give it number? Well, I mean, we didn't.
You guys strong-armed me into number one.
Yes.
Because Fury Road was number 2.
I told,
and I was the only one saying it should be number 1.
Chris, hang on.
Huh.
So I agree.
Man, that nerve is raw, dude. I don't know, like I'm getting riled up over here. There's a lot of this.
Well, again, because we were doing like media over media. If we had we even said like, oh, if there was a if they were in their own categories, they would be number 1 in their own categories.
Yeah.
Like
yes.
But if we're putting media over media, then it's just the inevitable thing of like, movie to a show, and then it's like we watch it, but like there's all these new factors you have to consider.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
You're right. What I'm saying is. Yeah, chicanery. No,
I remember that.
We watched that forever.
Yeah, that's true. That is like one of the best episodes of television. Is that episode of Chicane? Anyway, we're getting off point.
Yeah.
I think I agree with Ian in that His or Her Circumstance is second.
Okay.
I agree. Okay.
All right.
I live with
that. Lock it.
We have a new number 2, folks.
I'm happy.
Very happy. At number 2, His and Her Circumstance. Look at that. So let's do that. Which means the new list for the Rom versus Com is at number 6 we have Sleepless in Seattle. At number 5, 51st. Dude, it's crazy that none of us like that movie. It's so funny to me. Number 5 is 51st Dates. Number 4 is Crazy Rich Asians.
Yep.
Number 3, A Nice Indian Boy.
Yep.
2, His and Her Circumstance. 1, Love and Basketball. And that's where we're at, folks.
I'm glad we're doing this. This has been fun exploration. I'm genuinely getting into new stuff. It's great.
We definitely are learning a lot of new things as we explore this episode. I want to say thank you, Nick, for introducing this show to us and for also giving us the history lesson. That's super. There was a lot of really interesting shit that came about this show that we would not have known about.
Yeah, for the listeners out there, go look up those dudes' names. Like, look into their work. It's good stuff. It's a lot of good stuff. Yeah.
Oh, and on that note, we can even do recommendations.
Yes, but no, let's do recommendations. You're right, Nick. Go ahead.
So I would say, besides for the manga, another thing I kind of would implore anyone that had enjoyment from Karikano, His and Her Circumstance, is I think I mentioned it before. I think going back into Revolutionary Girl Utena the year prior is probably a good jumping off point of sort of experiencing how shoujo, but also like specific types of stories are now being kind of as the groundwork, sort of the beginning of like this new going into this new decade, this new millennium even of media storytelling. No, I mean it's true. Like this is because
no, I know what you're saying. It's like you're building up.
I'm just saying because like I love both. I love Shigoro Ten. I love Kerry Kano, and it's coming from someone where I wouldn't see myself as a shoujo or josei or like any rom-com stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I do kind of always saw these two as like in their respective genres, in their respective times, sort of being these like if you have a sliver of an interest of the genre, you start here. Like
interesting.
Because this is pretty much going to set up a lot of influence going into the 2000s, even to the 2010s, in terms of the direction of a lot of shoujo josei and also like in general this sort of new outlook on animation and storytelling. I don't know. Kind of like what Ian said. I think I would definitely recommend Revolutionary Girl Utena, which is also free to the public on YouTube.
Nice.
By the same company. Which something I tend to rewatch a few times because there's so much to say about it also, but I would just recommend that also in that regard.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah. Revolutionary Girl Utena.
Gotcha.
I'll throw out more Gynex for folks. We're a long time big fans of Fooly Cooly. I want to throw out another one that's a little more silly. Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt.
Oh hell yeah! Yeah, and it's coming
just
back.
A fun time, a fun series, and I don't know. One thing we didn't really mention, I'll just throw out really quick as a thing that I really like about Gynex properties is there is a love for American cartoons, and Panty and Stocking has a whole host of both Invader Zim and South Park references.
Yes.
Just a fun time. And it's just silly, quick paced. And you're probably going to see stylistic consistencies in Panty and Stocking too. Just, from the studio that'll come through. Great. Fun time.
Yeah. I agree. Fuck. I was trying to find the name of this thing. I think this is it. And I'm going to go with a very left field.
Okay.
Fuck. But if I recommend it, it would actually spoil what the manga becomes.
Oh.
But it is a love story manga.
Okay.
I believe it's called Onani Master Kurosawa.
Oh.
Which means like master masturbating.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
It's literally it's the one with the panel, right, where I come buckets.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I was recommended to be more or less this was recommended to me back in college because of that panel. And I went, I gotta see, this is gonna be some goofy shit.
Okay.
And then I read it and I went, yeah, he did the thing. It's about a dude committing just awful acts of sexual harassment as you find out what it is.
Okay.
And then I kept reading and I went, yo, this is really good. And I finished it in one night.
Oh, shit.
What you get is a story of coming of age of someone who was genuinely fucked up and broken, but like he gets his comeuppance into a weirdly touching like love story.
Huh.
Okay. And that is kind of spoilers. Okay. But read it. It's weird. From what I remember, it's it's really well done. It's a very heartwarming story. It's fucking weird. I remember reading this thing. I'm not trying to put under what he did at the beginning, but I don't think the story is either. I think once it introduces you and shocks you with that joke, and you figure it out, well, it's not a joke, man. It's what you're doing is fucked, and you get to see the whole ramifications of that.
Okay, I'm interested.
It's very. That's just an out of left field. I was thinking about this the other day. About just what a crazy, like weird, those weird things you read and you're like, oh my god, there's a lot of heart in this. Like, there's a genuine story going on beneath it all.
I like when a story can give you a gimmick and then make you believe it. I mean, that's what I think Adventure Time and the Venture Brothers both are essentially is here's a joke that I'm going to keep justifying until it's not a joke anymore.
Yeah. Until like, well, let's talk about it, man. Let's like, the fuck you doing? Yeah. I'm going to recommend that. I recommend that.
All right. Very nice. Very nice.
Again, I'm gonna preface it by saying, no, the protagonist is not supposed to be a good person. If you're reading that and that's what you get out of it, you're fucking crazy. And I think, and I don't think you should be allowed to read media. Anyway, that's what I recommend. All right, that's a good podcast. Next one this month at the end of June will be Pantheon. Finally,
yes, I'm so excited.
So we'll talk about that. The next rom-com is we're finally fucking doing it. 500 Days of Summer.
Oh,
that's good. Oh my god.
So,
oh boy,
none of us have watched it. We just know the culture around it.
Yes,
and how much we don't like that. So that's gonna be a fun one. All right. Bye.
Bye.